Hello, my name is Gregory Darnell Anderson III, and I am a mechanical engineering major. Today I'm going to talk about how race, class, and politics plays a part within engineering, but more specifically, how it plays its role in mechanical engineering. Engineering nowadays is seen as neutral, such as seen as things as math, physics, machines, designs, but in true fashion, engineering is really much more than that. Engineering is really decided by the society of the world and how the world views it and what the world is doing at the time. Race, class, and politics are influence who becomes an engineer, because based off their race, their class, and the politics really depends on what they have growing up and what they have in their life that allows them to have the resources to be the best engineer and best person they can be possibly. Throughout history, it shows that the engineering opportunities is very unequal for certain groups. Minorities and lower income students deal with this problem the most because they don't have the resources and the access that the higher and wealthier groups have. This really affects who joins the field, because what innovation are priority and the communities are protected and neglected when engineers will advance. Some communities are not able to advance because they don't have the opportunity and resources that other communities have, and that is really messing up that community and allows them to not to join the field of being a mechanical engineer because some communities don't even know that's an option for them. So that allows them to just be less than what the other and higher communities are. Mechanical engineering is influenced by the funding of energy policies, environmental decisions, and diversity. A lot plays a part when becoming an engineer, and there's a lot that needs to happen. Okay, so firstly, mechanical engineers need to have early access to advanced math, physics, and robotics in certain STEM clubs, because if they're introduced to this early, it will allow them to get further in the position for mechanical engineering. Historically, Black, Latino, and Indigenous people are forced to go to underfunded schools, which doesn't allow them to have the resources that wealthier schools will have. So they are not having the AP classes or the advanced classes or the advanced math or able to get certain degrees or certain things at that time that other schools have the opportunity for. This creates a system that is just based off the opportunity and not based off the talent of the person, because talent can be lost in certain places because they don't have the opportunity that other people have. They might have more talent than that person in the mechanical engineering field, but that person just had more opportunity than they had, and right now that's just how life is going. Mechanical engineers create many things such as transportation, energy infrastructure, STEM camps, and public safety technology. And the politics is what it picks where and what communities these things are placed in. So the lower income have a higher chance of things breaking and things malfunctioning because they don't have the amount of resources that the other classes and other people have. In these lower communities, they face more hazards. They face hazards from factories, highways, machines that are created by our engineers, because what our engineers are given, the resources that they are given at that time, that's what they're able to build in that community, and that just causes them to not be as best as they can, as best as it is supposed to be, because they don't have the resources or the funds to get the stuff that they need. Wealthy communities face way less problems than the lower income community because they have these resources and these funds that you need to have these great mechanical engineering technologies. This is not a process that can be seen as an engineering failure because it's not the engineer's fault. This has to be seen as a politics failure just because they have failed these certain communities that are being left out from certain things, that are not allowing them to be at the best of the ability that they can because they're not able to have these certain things or have these certain resources that they should have and need to have so that they can strive and everything can stay fixed for as long as possible as it needs to. Next, I want to talk about how these failures affect the marginalized communities when it comes to other things such as water pumps, HVAC units, and public transportation, because as these things start to break down, people are not able to get certain places, people are not able to do certain things because that's all they have or that's all they're able to afford to help their lifestyles in their community. An example of this would be Hurricane Katrina. It shows how in black neighborhoods were really affected by this and were way more affected than other neighborhoods within the same state. It just shows how politics has allowed these neighborhoods to be separated and allowed these neighborhoods to get separate mechanical supplies that are needed to live. Right. During Hurricane Katrina, they tended to lose generators and a whole bunch of things that did not have energy or anything at the time, and this really affected them for a long time afterwards. Not get me wrong, it did affect the whole state as a whole, but it affected the black neighborhoods way more than it affected the wealthier neighborhoods. Another example is the breakdown of buses or trains. This affects people who need these things to live their everyday life. Some people have to take the bus or the train to get to work or get to school or even a bus driver they use as a job. This allows them to pay their bills and pay their things. So when these things in these marginalized communities get broken, this stops them from being able to live their everyday lives because there are things that they rely on in their everyday lives that they need to focus on so that they can live their life. This is not things that normal people should have to worry about. This is the need of the engineers, and the engineers should have the things fixed when they need it to be fixed. This shows how engineering is based off inequality and is shaped from inequality because the groups are not equal, which allows certain groups to have better mechanical things than other groups have. Lastly, these energy policies and politics really affect mechanical engineer careers. When there are debates over renewable energy sources or climate change or infrastructure, this is what determines what is funded. So when these certain things are going to debate, or when these governments are arguing about where certain things should be, that's where the funds and stuff is being funded and placed in different places. When they invest, and a good thing about this is when things are invested into renewable energy sources, this creates jobs for people in things such as wind turbines, solar tracking system, and electric car and electric vehicle designs. This allows people to have more jobs. This is why it's also a good thing for there to be funds placed in certain places or certain things focusing about like renewable energy. Renewable energy is a great source that is going to improve the world drastically and can let us continue as fix things such as climate change and everything. It just depends on if these things are being funded. With me being able to understand these roles, this allows me to become a better engineer because it teaches me how my decisions in certain things are going to affect how my decisions are going to affect each community differently, and how some communities may be affected by this decision negatively, and how some communities may be affected by this decision positively. I want to be able to find some way I can lessen the negative effect and make the positive effect rise. The representation matters in engineering so that you are able to serve and help as many people as possible. I want to be able to allow me to help as many people as possible. It will allow me to become a better engineer, because really engineer, what we are here to do, we are here to help the people. So me being able to help the people in different lower income countries or marginalized communities, it's just, I want to be able to help the people of all class, race, and politics. I don't want it to be based on, oh, I'm only helping this class, I'm helping this class. I want to be able to help all classes. In conclusion, engineering is tied to race, politics, and class, because it is tied to these things because it allows these things to be effective and affect certain places and certain communities. Because with race, those communities don't have the same resources that other communities have. Class, once again, communities do not have the same resources as the lower communities don't have the same. The high class don't have the same resources as the low class. They all have different classes, and that is what is stopping us from becoming whole. And the goal at the end of this is, I want engineering to be better for all communities, so that there are not as many problems and mess ups in these marginalized communities, so that they're able to live the life that they want to live as well, just like the higher class communities. And that's it. Thank you.